The night sky above Zyphora shimmered with twin moons and thousands of glowing stars. The floating city of Lyria Prime looked peaceful from afar, but deep inside Princess Lyra's heart, there was no peace. Her emotions were tangled: curiosity, confusion, and a strange warmth that she could not name. Her hovercraft glided quietly through the air toward the Oracle Caverns, a sacred place hidden beneath Zyphora's mountains. The journey was silent except for the hum of the energy crystals that powered her craft. Her mind kept returning to Captain Ethan Rourke, the human whose scent had awakened something ancient and powerful inside her. Lyra placed a hand over her chest and took a deep breath. "Control your emotions," she whispered to herself. "You are a princess, not a lost dreamer." But the warmth in her body and the strange pull in her mind refused to fade. When the hovercraft descended near the cavern entrance, she stepped out and looked up at the mountains. They glowed faintly in the moonlight, as if breathing with the rhythm of the planet itself. Two crystal guardians stood at the gates, tall, shimmering beings that moved slowly, but spoke with deep, echoing voices. "Princess Lyra of Lyria Prime," they said together. "You come seeking truth?" "Yes," she replied softly. "Something within me has changed. The human's presence has awakened a reaction I do not understand. I must know why." The guardians nodded and stepped aside. The gates opened, revealing a vast cavern filled with floating crystals that pulsed with soft light. Each crystal hummed faintly, resonating with her heartbeat. Lyra walked deeper into the cavern until she reached the heart of the oracle, a large, floating sphere of glowing blue crystal. The air felt alive around her. When she placed her hands on the sphere, it glowed brighter, and a gentle, ageless voice echoed through the cavern. "Child of Zyphora," the oracle said. "Your body and spirit are reacting to a bond that transcends species. The human's scent carries something your world has never known before, an energy that resonates with your ancient instincts." Lyra frowned, trying to understand. "But how can that be? He is human. Our kinds are different in every way." "Different, yes," the oracle replied, its voice soft, but filled with wisdom. "Yet all life carries a universal rhythm. When two souls meet with mutual respect and curiosity, the boundaries of biology begin to blur. What you feel is not chaos, but connection." Lyra lowered her gaze. "Connection," she repeated. The word sounded gentle, but heavy. "And what am I supposed to do with this connection?" The oracle pulsed with light, and the cavern around her seemed to breathe. "You must understand it, not fear it. The human has awakened your natural bonding cycle, but it is not a curse. It is a chance, a bridge between worlds. Only through understanding can your people and his truly unite." Lyra stood in silence, her mind filled with memories of Ethan, his calm eyes, his respectful voice, his patience when speaking to her advisors. It was true. He had never shown arrogance or fear. He treated Zyphorans as equals, and that perhaps was what her instincts had recognized. Before she could ask more, the oracle's light dimmed. "Go now," it said. "The path will reveal itself. But beware, the bond will draw you together in moments of danger and decision. It is both your test and your key." Lyra left the cavern at dawn, the suns rising slowly over the crystal peaks. She felt calmer but still uncertain. The oracle's words echoed in her heart. Connection, understanding, bridge. She knew what it meant. Her strange reaction to Ethan wasn't just personal. It symbolized something larger between their species. Back at Lyria Prime, the palace was tense. The human delegation had reported strange interference in their equipment. Energy waves were disrupting communications and scanners. Ethan had been working all night to fix the problem. When Lyra entered the command hall, she found him surrounded by glowing instruments and holographic maps. He looked tired but focused, his hands moving swiftly across the controls. "Captain Rourke," Lyra said softly. Ethan turned, surprised but pleased. "Princess Lyra, I didn't expect you so early. We're having a bit of trouble. Some kind of electromagnetic storm in the upper atmosphere. It's blocking our signals to the fleet." Lyra's eyes widened. That energy, it might not be natural. Zyphora's magnetic field reacts to strong emotions and biological signals. It's possible that... She hesitated. It's reacting to me. Ethan blinked. To you? She nodded, a faint blush coloring her glowing skin. My people are connected to the planet in ways humans are not. When emotions grow intense, the energy around us can shift. I went to the Oracle Caverns to seek answers, and it told me something strange. Our bond, our connection, might be influencing the world itself. Ethan frowned, trying to process her words. A connection between us? You mean, like energy resonance? Yes, Lyra said. Our bodies and minds emit signals, scents, and frequencies. When two beings align, it can cause ripples across the environment. I think that's what is happening. Ethan rubbed his chin, half smiling. So you're saying I'm literally messing up your planet's weather? Lyra laughed softly, the sound like music. Perhaps a little, but it's not your fault. It's something neither of us could have predicted. At that moment, an alarm rang through the hall. A guard rushed in, his face pale. Your Highness, Captain, a fleet of unknown ships has entered Zephora's atmosphere. They refuse to identify themselves. Ethan and Lyra exchanged quick looks. Without hesitation, they hurried to the observation deck. Through the crystal walls, they saw dark shapes moving across the sky. Sleek, shadowed ships emitting red light. Lyra's heart raced. That is the Vorax faction, she whispered. They have long opposed the royal family's peace talks. They believe contact with outsiders will weaken our traditions. Ethan's eyes hardened. Looks like they plan to prove their point. Moments later, the city's alarm systems blared. Energy shields shimmered to life around the crystal towers as the Vorax ships began firing plasma bolts. Explosions of color lit the sky. Civilians ran for cover as the elegant city turned into a battlefield. Your Highness, you must get to safety, shouted a guard. Lyra shook her head. No, the people need me, and the humans are our guests. I will not abandon them. Ethan stepped forward. Then you're not facing this alone. My crew and I will help defend the city. She looked at him, startled but grateful. You would fight for a world not your own? He smiled slightly. Humans don't turn away when friends are in danger. Together, they coordinated defense systems, Lyra commanding the Zephoran guards and Ethan directing his crew. The battle was fierce. The Vorax ships moved quickly, but the city's crystal cannons responded with beams of shimmering energy. As they worked side by side, the strange connection between Lyra and Ethan grew stronger. Whenever one of them felt fear, the other seemed to sense it instantly. When Lyra's hands trembled at the sight of falling debris, Ethan's calm voice steadied her. When Ethan nearly fell as a blast rocked the command deck, Lyra reached out, her bioluminescent energy forming a shield that saved him. Your energy field, how did you do that? Ethan gasped. I didn't think, Lyra said. It just happened. The Oracle's words echoed in her mind. The bond will draw you together in moments of danger. Realization struck her. They were channeling each other's energy. Her biological connection and his human resilience were synchronizing, forming a living circuit of power. Outside, the Vorax flagship descended lower, charging its main weapon. The city's defenses were weakening. If that blast hit, thousands would die. Ethan turned to her. We need to take it out, now. Lyra nodded, her eyes fierce. Follow me. They boarded a small Zephyrin attack craft and launched into the sky. The ship hummed with their combined energy, the controls responding faster than normal, as if alive. As they approached the flagship, plasma bolts streaked past them. Lyra focused, channeling her bioluminescent energy into the ship's shields, while Ethan maneuvered through the chaos with steady precision. Finally, they reached the flagship's core reactor. We can overload it if we strike the center crystal, Lyra said. Ethan aimed carefully. Then let's make this count. With a synchronized effort, they fired. The beam hit dead center and a blinding light filled the sky. The flagship exploded, scattering shards of glowing metal across the horizon. The Remaining enemy ships retreated quickly, realizing their leader was gone. The battle was over. Back in Lyria Prime, cheers echoed through the streets. The people of Zephora celebrated their victory and the courage of their princess. Lyra and Ethan stood together on the balcony of the palace, watching the city lights flicker like stars. "You saved my people," Lyra said quietly. Ethan shook his head. "We saved them. Together." She smiled softly, the glow of her skin gentle and warm. The oracle was right. Our connection was not a curse. It was a gift. It helped us protect what we both care about. Ethan looked thoughtful. "I guess sometimes biology and destiny have their own plans." They stood in silence for a moment, the wind carrying the faint hum of the crystal city around them. Though their worlds were far apart, they understood something profound now. Connection was not about similarity, but about trust and shared purpose. Lyra turned to him. "When you return to your world, tell your people that Zephora stands ready for friendship. We may be different, but perhaps together we can make something new, something stronger." Lyra laughed softly, her voice brightly. The twin suns of Zephora burned bright in the sky, casting golden and violet hues over the floating crystal cities. From a distance, the city of Lyria Prime shimmered like a jewel in the sky, its towers of translucent crystal reflecting the light in rainbow patterns. Among these towers, the royal palace stood tallest, carved into a crystalline mountain, and it was here that Princess Lyra, the young heir of Zephora, walked along a bridge suspended high above the glowing forests below. Lyra's eyes were bright with curiosity. Her bioluminescent skin glowed softly with changing colors, pale blue at rest, deepening to a gentle violet when her emotions shifted. She had always been fascinated by the stars, by the worlds beyond her own, and now a group of humans had arrived on Zephora for the first time in recorded history. Though her people were careful with visitors, the humans had sparked both excitement and concern among the royal court. Her advisors whispered as she walked, their voices soft but urgent. "Your Highness, remember your composure," one said. "These humans are different. They are resilient, yes, but their biology is unpredictable." Lyra nodded, though a flicker of doubt crossed her mind. Her people had long prided themselves on understanding the natural world, including the strange chemical and emotional signals that governed their own species. Yet humans were something new entirely, unpredictable and fascinating in equal measure. At the main landing platform of Lyria Prime, a sleek human shuttle descended, kicking up sparkling clouds of luminescent dust from the city's crystal terraces. The shuttle's hull glinted under the twin suns, and the humans inside were visible through its transparent canopy. Among them was Captain Ethan Rourke, the leader of the diplomatic mission from Earth. Ethan's uniform was simple but practical, designed for long interstellar travel. His dark hair fell slightly into his eyes, and his gaze was fixed on the glowing city, with a mixture of awe and determination. As the shuttle touched down, a team of Zephoran guards approached, their uniforms glimmering faintly, reflecting the light like liquid crystals. Lyra stepped forward from the palace, her long flowing robes brushing against the crystal walkway. She approached the humans carefully, maintaining the grace expected of a princess. When Ethan stepped out, the first thing Lyra noticed was the human scent. It was strange, earthy, and powerful. For reasons she could not understand, it triggered a reaction in her body, a sudden, uncontrollable surge of energy and awareness. Lyra froze for a brief moment, unsure what was happening. Her skin flickered between blue and violet, faster than usual, and she felt a strange warmth ripple through her chest. Lyra quickly adjusted her composure, hiding her reaction behind a calm smile. "Welcome to Zephora," she said, her voice melodic, carrying the soft resonance common among her people. "I am Princess Lyra. We are honored to host your delegation." Ethan bowed slightly, as custom demanded, though his posture remained confident. "Thank you, Princess," he said. "It is an honor to be here. Zephora is remarkable." The other humans followed, curious but cautious. Lyra could sense the tension in their minds, the excitement and nerves mingling with curiosity. It made her pulse even faster. Though she struggled to hide it, she had never experienced this before. No visitor had ever caused her body to react like this. As the delegation moved through the palace corridors, Lyra's advisors whispered again. Your Highness, your biological cycle. You must be careful. The human's presence, his scent, is activating something unusual. Lyra clenched her fists slightly, forcing herself to focus. She had read about her species' bonding cycle, a natural biological rhythm that occurred rarely and was influenced by chemical and emotional signals. It was supposed to happen under controlled circumstances, guided by the elders and the planet's natural rhythms. Yet now, in the presence of a human male, she felt it beginning prematurely. They reached the grand hall, a massive chamber with ceilings so high that they seemed to vanish into the sky. Crystals lined the walls, refracting light into thousands of colors. Xiferan dignitaries gathered, watching the humans with a mixture of awe and suspicion. Lyra introduced Ethan formally, explaining the customs and gestures that were important to her people. Ethan listened attentively, impressed by the palace's beauty and the intricacy of Xiferan culture. Your people have built something incredible, he said. The way you integrate nature, architecture, and technology, it's unlike anything we've seen. Lyra felt her pulse quicken again. This time it wasn't just the scent. Something about Ethan's calm confidence, his curiosity, and the way he respected her people stirred her more deeply. She realized with alarm that her body's reaction was becoming harder to control. During the formal tour, Ethan asked questions about the floating forests below, about the glowing rivers, and about the crystal technology that powered the city. Lyra found herself explaining with passion, her knowledge vast and precise. Yet her mind kept flicking back to the strange sensation she felt whenever he came near. She had to step aside several times to hide her discomfort, claiming the corridors were narrow or that she had pressing matters. Later in the palace gardens, Lyra tried to gather her thoughts. The garden floated on a platform suspended above the city, with waterfalls cascading in glowing streams and plants that pulsed with soft light. She inhaled deeply, trying to calm herself, but even here, the memory of Ethan's presence made her pulse uneven. The royal doctor, an older Xiferan named Terrell, approached quietly. Your Highness, I have observed your reaction, he said. His voice was gentle but firm. Your biological cycle has been triggered early. It is rare but not dangerous. However, you must take precautions. Do not allow your emotions to overwhelm your judgment. Lyra nodded, grateful for his guidance, but her mind raced. Precautions. Yes, she said softly. But what if this cannot be controlled? What if the humans, specifically him, affect me further? Terrell placed a calming hand on her shoulder. Your body's response is natural, Princess. It is not a weakness. It is a signal of connection, of curiosity, of potential alliance. You must approach it with care, yes, but also with understanding. Lyra frowned, unsure how to reconcile the science with her emotions. She had been trained to maintain composure at all times, to appear calm and in control, yet here she was, experiencing something entirely new and unpredictable. As night fell over Zephora, the city glowing under twin moons, Lyra returned to her quarters. She could not sleep. Her mind replayed every interaction with Ethan, every word, every glance. She had never felt such a mixture of curiosity, respect, and biological reaction. It was thrilling and terrifying all at once. Meanwhile, Ethan prepared for a briefing with Xiferan leaders. He had noticed Lyra's odd behavior during the day, her sudden disappearances, the flicker in her eyes, the way she seemed almost distracted around him. He was curious but respectful. Humans were trained to observe and adapt, and he intended to learn everything he could about this remarkable planet and its people. The next morning, Lyra met Ethan in the palace courtyard. She tried to keep her composure, her glow steady, though her pulse betrayed her inner turmoil. Captain Rourke, she greeted. I hope your first night on Zephora was restful. Ethan smiled, his gaze steady. It was enlightening. This planet is more beautiful than I imagined, and your people are extraordinary. I look forward to learning from all of you. Lyra felt her chest tighten. She wanted to respond with grace, to maintain her royal composure. But she also felt the stirrings of curiosity and connection she could not ignore. She realized that she could not hide from this feeling forever. The day passed with tours and ceremonies, and yet Lyra found herself drawn to Ethan's presence. Whenever he spoke to other dignitaries, she noticed the subtle details, the way he listened, the care in his words, the respect he showed her people. Each observation sent another ripple through her body, reminding her of the rare and powerful reaction she was experiencing. By evening, Lyra knew she could not avoid the truth any longer. She had to seek guidance from the Oracle Caverns, the ancient heart of Zephyrin wisdom. There, it was said, the crystals would reveal clarity and balance, showing the correct path for even the most unusual circumstances. As she prepared to leave, Terrell approached once more. "Princess, I sense you are aware of the connection," he said gently. "The Oracle will guide you. Trust in your instincts and trust in your people. And remember, curiosity and courage are powerful allies." Lyra nodded. She felt a mix of fear and anticipation, but she knew she had to act. The bond she felt with this human, strange, sudden, and profound, was not something she could ignore. It could hold danger, yes, but also incredible opportunity. As night fell over the Crystal City once more, Lyra stepped into her hovercraft, leaving the palace behind. The lights of Lyria Prime shimmered like stars below, and she felt the pulse of her own being stirred by an entirely new experience. The journey to the Oracle Caverns would not only reveal the secrets of her biology, but also the possibilities of connection between two very different worlds. And somewhere, far across the Crystal City, Ethan prepared for his own rest, unaware of the deep, unseen effect he had already set in motion. Cliffhanger. Lyra's journey to the Oracle Caverns would reveal truths about her species, her emotions, and the unexpected bond forming between her and the human visitor. What she discovered, the